Welcome back guys to another Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we're going to be reacting to the new reveals from Legends and see what they're cooking up for January 2025 to finish off and lead us into February. With that being said, let's go.
Minasan konnichiwa. ドラゴンボールレジェンズプロデューサーの谷です。よろしくお願いい
Alright,
た
we
しま
got
す。
Tani coming in here.
前回
Rest
の
in
番
peace,
組で
my
お
boy
知らせいたし
Toshi.
ましたが、今回から番組をリニューアルし、レジェンズインフォメーションとして皆さんにより分かりやすく情報をお届けしてまいります。改めてよろしくお願いいたします。それでは早速最新情報をご紹介いたします。まずはこちらです。
We're gonna need captions because we have no idea what Tani is saying. But captions are not available.
レーティングマッチ特殊シーズン第4回天下一武道会を開催いたします。天下一武道会ではバトルやミッションで専用アイテムが獲得でき、
There is no English one. Okay.
天下一武道会ではおなじみレジェンズリミテッドキャラクターが1体確定で獲得できる10連ガチャのガチャチケッ
That's a
トが
pretty good
限定
ticket
報
for
酬で
Legends
獲得で
Limited
きます。
characters, actually. You got
他にも
Gago,
優勝
Frieza,
者の限
Boo
定
Bros
メ
in
ッ
there. That's
セー
some
ジや
good
称
Zenkai,
号
some good plats
上位
and
ニュ
stuff
ーティーゼ
there.
ントの
Pretty
ド
good.
ラゴンボール大魔の放送を記念して開催した
More
ワクワク
Zenny and
ボーナス
stuff.
ミニレイドを
Pretty good.
再度開催いたしま
That
す。
bonus is up
こち
until
ら
the
は24時間
24th
限
of
定のミニレイド
February.
となっており、開催させて
Pretty good. And then
ギルド
obviously they
同士
got
で
Guild
競い合う新コ
Battle.
ンテンツギルドバトル引退30日
So stupid.
大会と
I
男性
really
や
don't
ギル
like
ド
the
面
Guild
連
Battle
携し開
restricted.
催されるいただけたたきで日についてこちらをご覧ください。
Alright, this is I think the new unit here. Dragon Ball Legends. Android 17. Okay, we got a Sparking 17. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Sparking 17. I guess that makes sense because of the 18, but you don't know what he's gonna be alongside. Another Z Future character? Ooh. Ooh! Yo, this OST go crazy. No boy. Legends Limited Zamasu. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, they cooked! Where was this during Legends Fest, bro? Where was this during Legends Festival?
Dragon Ball Z 絶望への反抗
Okay, very interesting. Android 17 was new Zamasu. We're probably not gonna watch most of this reveal as they kind of, you know, it's in Japanese. Can't really do much about that. There's no subtitles or anything like that. So let's just see what they have here. You know, 17's purple. Zamasu's red. That's gonna be good. We've been wanting a red for a while. Wanting another red for a while. So hopefully he does change up some stuff.
としかなレイドとなっておりますので、ぜひご参加ください。あとして豪
Okay,
華けれ
yeah,
ば
I don't really know what
い
any
る
of
ので
this
ご注意ください。
is.
決して今ましょ
What is it?
う。ありがとうございました。
Okay, is that gonna be it? Okay. So that was the reveal. It's gonna be Zamasu and Android 17. I'm not really a fan of this new Legends information kind of thing, as you know, we kind of don't even really know what the information is. Since there's no like English subs or anything like that, we're kind of just screwed over. So let's go ahead and hop over to the DB Legends website. We should be able to take a look at Zamasu's kit over there. Let's see here, Dragon Ball Legends, and right here, Zamasu's kit should be up. Yeah, okay, there we go. Let's take a look at this so we can actually like break him down and see how good he is. So he is a element red, future Trunk Saga, future regen Patara, future War God KPO. Pretty standard stuff. His Z ability is going to be strike, attack, and defense with an extra bonus to future, giving the blast defense. My bad on the yawn chat. Freaking, yeah, it's a morning. Has armor, no charging without fear of enemy blast. So he has blast armor and he has slice on his strikes. Standard blast card, no special properties. His blue card has a chance to inflict paralysis on hit, does massive impact damage. On activation, gets 30% to special move damage, and has cut pen built into it. That is pretty good. For 15 timer counts, but it is cancelable. On hit, he shortens ally subcounts by 3 and gets a 40% chance to paralyze. His green card would randomly draw one new card, restore his health by 10%, key by 50, give him 15% damage, and if his unique gauge is sustained damage type, then he has restores zone health by 10%, cancels zone attribute downgrades and normal conditions, reduce enemy Dragon Balls by 1 up to 3 times, pretty good, steals enemy special move and special arts for 5 timer counts, but if he switches to the attack type gauge, he randomly draws a card, gets vanished back 3 times, and gets 20% more damage. So that's pretty interesting. That right there tells us that he has a sustained damage type and an attack type unique gauge, so I'm assuming what's going to happen is he's going to need to get hit for his first gauge, and then probably some sort of switch out or something else to switch to the attack type gauge. Kind of similar to what Ultimate Gohan does, where it's like once you get his first gauge, then he gets a second one. But his is a charge gauge into an attack gauge. This guy's is a damage type into an attack type. So we'll see how that plays out. Get a 50% boost to critical rate is what his ultimate has here. It deals massive explode damage. On activation, does 50% more ultimate damage and has 50% crit rate, which is uncancelable. It's sad that the damage isn't uncancelable, but the crit rate is uncancelable. Has endurance nullification as well, does AoE damage to the enemy's bench, destroys all enemy cards, 100% chance to inflict bleed. Pretty solid. Nothing too crazy on his base cards here, to be honest. The main thing, honestly, I think the best thing out of his base cards is going to be this. The 3 Dragon Balls and 3 Vanish Restore that he has. That's pretty good. His main ability gives him his ultimate, Blades of Judgment. Restores own health by 30%, key by 50, charge unique gauge by 100, cancels own attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions, and a bunch of debuffs on the enemy team for 20 timer counts. Not too crazy here on the debuffs, to be honest, mainly because these are all going to be cancelable, so there is that to keep in mind. But these are pretty powerful if they don't get canceled, but also they only last 20 counts. So now we're getting into his base kit. He's getting 170% damage inflicted, 70% cut, 50% key recovery, level 1 card draw, 50% unique gauge charge rate, all uncancelable off the bat. That's pretty solid. And when he enters the battlefield, he gets 30 key, another 60% damage, 20% strike damage, 15% for 10 timer counts, reduction of impact, explode, and slice damage. That's very good. Inflicts all enemies with minus 50% to strike, blast, and special move for 10 timer counts as well. That's also very good. Also affects the following, so every time he uses a strike or blast cards, he gets 1 card if he has 3 or less, resets after character switch, 10 key, and 15% damage for 15 timer counts, and inflicts enemy with 15% damage received for 15 counts, as well as minus 10% health restore. That is actually an insane passive to have, because it's basically giving him minus 10 to his strike and blast cards cost. It's giving him essentially 25% damage, which is going to scale really high, because that 15% is going to scale very high with that 15 additional, and that's going to be much more than 30%, which is what it looks like on paper. The only thing is it's still affecting the entire enemy team, so they will be able to switch out, and then those buffs will reset, but that is still very, very good of a passive. Shortens Atlas upcount by 5 when the enemy activates Ultimate Awakened or Rising Rush while he's on the battlefield. You don't want to be a rush, makes sense, he's the damage dealer. And if his own unique gauge is sustained damage type, when he uses a strike, blast, special move, or ultimate, he switches unique gauge from sustained damage type to attack type. Interesting. Very, very interesting. He can change his gauge mid-fight while he's on the field. He also gets 5 counts of cover null when he changes his gauge. Applies the following effect to self if own unique gauge is attack type when hit by an enemy's attack guard while he's on the battlefield. From attack type to sustained damage, he gets neutral defense. It doesn't say that he has to switch out, and it doesn't say these are one-time activations. So he can just stay on the field and keep changing between his gauges and getting his buffs from the sound of it, which is interesting. Definitely a unique kind of unit that they have put out here. But for the most part, outside of the gauge, he's probably just going to be a normal unit. He has a strike cover change, combos in a special move. With cover changes, he has reduced enemy key by 20 and a bunch of other debuffs. Pretty good stuff there. 30% key recovery and plus into all arts. That does happen to all enemies, which is really good. So even if they switch out, they'll still be hit by that. After enemy attack is over, he will get a green card twice, restore 30% of the damage received, and get 20% damage inflicted. Pretty good. If his unique gauge is sustained damage type unique gauge, then will be sustained damage time when battle starts. So at the start of the game, he's already sustained battle. He charges his own unique gauge every time he's hit by an enemy arts while he's on the battlefield. Once it's full, it resets to 0 when hit by an enemy arts attack, and it gives him 15% health, 20% permanent damage, destroys 2 enemy cards, 50 keys, seals their rush, seals their main. That is very good because that's going to be repeatable. So that is some amazing disruption that this guy has right there. And then when he has attack type, he charges on unique gauge whenever he uses an arts card. And once it's full, it resets to 0 and he gets the following effects when he uses an arts card. He draws a card, gets 10% health, 30 key, 20% damage, increased card draw speed for 1 level for 5 counts, and he gets covered again. That is the entirety of Zamasu's kit. He looks like an amazing and solid unit. He's getting essentially 210% inflicted once both of his gauges are popped. Puts an additional 20% strike. But this one, that's not including this 170 plus this 60 here. So that's going to be 30, 30, 230. And then that's going to be 270. So he's 270 inflicted, 290 strike, stacking damage on cards, cut pen on blue card, additional 40% damage right here. Gets level 2 card draw for a little bit as well. The only thing I'm not seeing here in his kit is immunities. He doesn't have any immunities, so like key reduction or anything like that. He doesn't have immunity to his own debuffs, essentially, right? So that is one thing that I'm noticing here. The only time he cancels is on main, but other than that, he is just kind of going to be having to eat it. But, you know, minus 10 to cost for the key is pretty good, and then he does get some key back on the gauge. So it's not the worst, but it's not the greatest. If his gauge also canceled debuffs, that could have been good, but it doesn't. But other than that, he's a pretty flawless unit. He's going to be very, very good. And I am very excited to see how his unique gauge plays out with the attack and defense type. With that being said, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going back to bed.